What's up, everybody? YL with Blockchain Academics. Super excited to have you guys here. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment because we are going to be giving away some big giveaways: hardware wallets, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and a lot of things that we're working on. So, like I said, make sure to subscribe so you never miss any trading opportunities. We're going to get right into it. We're going to be going over Bitcoin. So let's take a look at the halving countdown because that is what everybody is waiting for. Shout out to Tom Bates. He has the nicest background image, quarantine image, just in lockdown right now. So everybody is kind of waiting for this halving. They think that maybe when this halving happens, price is just gonna, explode, exponentially take off. But it doesn't work like that. So here is the countdown. It is less than a week, less than 6 days, give or take, a few minutes or whatnot for when the block gets solved. So less than 6 days. I want to take a look at the dominance of Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin. In late 2013, middle of 2013, you saw Bitcoin almost had 95% of the total market cap. And then you had a lot of altcoins being introduced in this time in 2016, 2017. A little bit, yeah. You got some coins, in the early on phases, but most came in 2016, 2017, bringing the market cap from 84% to 40, lowest to 32. What I want to see, why we're looking at this is because you see that Bitcoin is kind of taking its ground back. As you can see here, we kind of had the three pushes down, 1, 2, 3. And then this is kind of a higher low. We made the low here and we started to come up. We broke this high here, which was 62%. And now we are kind of ranging in that area, but we broke this lower high. So I'm looking for Bitcoin, honestly, to gear back up. The halving is coming in just a few days ago when we were looking at price when Bitcoin was making that big move. What was that? Yeah, 29th of April. If you looked at altcoins on the 29th of April, they got slammed. Altcoins got slammed. So we're going to start on the monthly. So why I'm telling you this is because altcoins got slammed, and that was just a small run up. It wasn't too small, I guess, from like 7 grand, 7,100 to 9,400. But then just consider like when Bitcoin starts going from 9,000 to 12,000 to 15,000 to 20 grand to 50 grand to 100 grand. How bad are these alts going to perform against Bitcoin? They may perform well against the US dollar or whatever pair you're trading them against, your local currency. So like, don't get me wrong, Hex coin or like the random altcoin you're trading can perform better than the US dollar. But in terms of Bitcoin's going to crush these. So if you wanted more USD, you have a better chance of just holding the Bitcoin to earn more USD because these currencies are going to get crushed. And we're going to go look at some, for example, after we take a look at Bitcoin. So we're looking at the month. We have this huge monthly candle. We had the wick down here. This is the Corona, March 12th, Black Thursday 2020 candle right here. And then the month we gained back everything. On the weekly, let's go to the 2 weeks. The TD sequential has flipped. As you can see, we're kind of making our way back up. Hopefully this is some sort of like V bottom. Then we can just keep working our way back up. Ugly V, okay. Control Z is not working. Didn't even draw all these lines. Okay. And I drew these 2 lines because I am going to get the moving averages back on here. Indicators, EMA, moving averages. I use moving averages as a trend-based indicator, and I'll use it to buy and sell actually. So with the 50 and 200, did I do 200 for both of them? I think I did. Okay, that makes sense. It's 2 weeks. Let's switch to the 1 week. There's not enough data to calculate that moving average. So you can see that we broke down here on the 1 week. We quickly got back up. This is why I drew this candle, because or this trend line. You can just see that we used it as support here, resistance, support. We tried to break through here early last month or mid last month. We tried to break through again. Third time, fourth was the charm. We actually used it as support this time, another support, and then we kind of started to take off. So I left these two trend lines here because I have a feeling that we may come back to test them. So this is on the weekly. Everybody's trying to like FOMO in for this halving. So I am kind of thinking we are going to see like a move down before we get that large move up, or before we get into this large bull market. We're going to get a big move to shake out a lot of people. So we're on 5 day. It's looking good. We broke back above. We need to essentially break this high. This is where I start getting like more bullish when we break this lower high that we put in right here. So 4 day, you got the 9 here, you got the 9 sell here, worked pretty well. Obviously, markets got pushed down because of Corona and the fear and whatnot, and market makers and dealers definitely took advantage of that. The 3 day, I'm just seeing, a lot of I'm seeing a lot of indecision in this area right here. Kind of brings me up to like back here. Was it the 4 day? Yeah, you can see all these like doji, this doji right here, these two right here. So just like, after this big move, buyers and sellers are they're kind of waiting for another. They're wanting to see, they're not really sure what's happening. They're not sure which direction it's going to go in. And you can see more indecision here on the lower time frames on the 2 day, on the 1 day as well. Like this is kind of, the bulls and bears are fighting. And it's like these candles aren't too convincing for either side. It's kind of fight between bulls and bears, and bulls are stepping up here as well to push the price back up. So it is kind of hard to tell which direction it's going in here. I do see a large shakeout though. What I wanted to show you guys here is just if we're looking at it in a dealer type of way, in a dealer perspective, or like not a dealer's perspective, but like a whale's perspective. So when we got here, everybody thinks we're bullish, we're going to break through a pre-halving and whatnot. So long holders are stuck here. Now, people who went long, they're stuck. As you can see, the high never went back there, and the high never went back. So we're actually creating lower lows and lower highs. In doing so, we are validating shorters. People who shorted here are feeling nice. This can keep making lower highs and lower lows, and maybe come down and test these numbers, so these shorts would get paid off. We have the halving coming. With what's happening around the world, I'm more bullish than ever. So what I'm trying to go with this is why we accumulate in this range, or why we actually consolidate in this range. Why we consolidate is the market makers, the dealers, the whales. We need to accumulate more orders before this price can move downwards or upwards. Until we've accumulated enough orders that we can move in one direction, we're gonna keep kind of bouncing around here until it's profitable. So I think the shorters, they're going to get validated, and everybody who's going long here, who's going long, what's happening? Why is this pen? This is a garbage pen, bro. What's happening? How am I controlling Z? I wrote this yesterday. I just did like 6 things to the chart. How's this coming back up? Okay. This is crazy. I'm trying to control Z, the last thing I did, and things are flying off the chart I did yesterday. Crazy. Anyways. First world problems. Where are these lines coming from, bro? Okay. So we did high. I think I drew a trend line here. So this was a larger lower high on larger time frame. You know what I mean? So it looks like 95. It was 10.4, 13,000, 14,000, 10.4, 9.5. And it looks like we're just keep playing this downward cycle. Another thing to look break this top here, I'd be pretty bullish from there on end. If we broke above 14 grand, that's another step. And then obviously the last one's breaking and trading above our previous all-time high around $20,000. So what I'm saying is that this is a textbook continuation pattern. People took longs here. People are taking longs at every depth they can. Long, 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 maybe long here. As I saw, there's a lot of indecision. Look at all this volume. So before we're going to move just to the upside, I think that we are going to validate shorts by wicking down, something like below this low, which maybe some people would be using as a stop loss, the 8,300 range. I think we'll wick down. We'll maybe tap like 8,000, not break below it. So like 8,001, and then we'll work our way up. So what we just did is we validated the shorters, we stop lost all the longs, and now we went the other direction, and now we have just basically whipsawed the shorters, the longers, and the market makers are moving into the higher highs, into the upward direction. So that's kind of what I'm looking at Bitcoin. When I'm looking at trades, I try to look at it in different ways. I look at the technicals, then I look at the business side. What are market makers doing? What are whales doing? What are the market makers doing? These are the dealers. These guys, it's a business to them. And it's like, for people who don't think this is a business, you're still, I'm assuming, fresh to the game. So if you're not taking this as a business, recommend taking something else up, which is less expensive, like photography or gaming or something like that. Because yeah, you got to take a look. You got to look at this as a business, and strictly as a business, and you just got to look at it in other perspectives. Don't have a bias if it's just going up or down. The halving's coming; it's going to go up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. You just got to look at it logically. So that's pretty much it for today. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. We got some contests, like I said, giving away some Bitcoin, some hardware wallets, some education courses, travel. Packages that we're going to think of and whatnot. So make sure you're subscribed so you can stick around for these trading opportunities, the daily videos, crypto news, and all that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.